Good morning, Napster. This is my review of the brand new Turtle Beach Burst 2 Air that just came out. And the quick rundown on this is that it's $100. It's 46/47 grams on my scale, which for a mouse from a big name brand like Turtle Beach or something, I'm honestly super impressed. I didn't expect that. It's rocking a 3395 sensor, so that's good, but it's only locked at 1K. And I do not expect a 4K firmware update at any time, so if that's the deal breaker for you, then yeah, just getting that off right at the bat. And if you look at this, it's a very much clearly a palm slash claw grip shaped mouse. It's a little bit smaller than something like the Viper V3 Pro, which you may or may not like, but its big feature, if you can't tell, is this massive flare at the back of the mouse, which is really its defining feature. And so yeah, I like this mouse a fair good deal. It's not my favorite, I wouldn't mean it, but I think it's a compelling option on the market for some people, and I think it's honestly nice to have it out there. And I'm good to have a not a new mouse manufacturer in the game, but Turtle Beach coming on the scene with a 46/47 gram mouse. That is not something I would have expected, and it's good to see more people taking this seriously. And so yeah, first thing I want to talk about, the stock skates on this. They are not good. They're the smaller Final Mouse shaped skates. They're more like this, yeah, like Final Mouse skates. But as you can see, there's shape for more than those tiny ass Final Mouse grips, skates, not grips. And just take those off immediately. First thing you do when you get the mouse, take them off immediately. They just don't really feel right for this mouse, and when you're moving across them, at least for me, I could feel them just scraping across the mouse pad in a really annoying way, and they were a little bit too thin as well, so I could kind of feel the plastic guards on the mouse as well. I think maybe, I'm not sure. Either way, what it wasn't a pleasant experience. Thankfully, the mouse comes with better stock skates in it, which are a better shape, and they don't have that issue, so throw those on. I'm not using those skates for reasons, but I tried them earlier and they work great. They fix those issues. And so yeah, throw whatever skates you have. Those skates are fine, or aftermarket skates. Just don't use the ones that come applied to it. I don't know how they thought that was good. But yeah, once you get past that, there's a lot to like about this mouse. It is, like I said, 46/47 grams, and I'm honestly impressed. I don't know how they got it that low, because if you look at this, there are no honeycombs, not on the back, not on the sides, even the bottom cutout. This is relatively marginal for a bottom cutout on a mouse. I mean, compared to everything else, Final Mouse, all holes, Beast X, that has more holes, IDX, more holes, just everything. I'm impressed at that. And even for a mouse this size, like I said, it's a little bit smaller than the Viper V3 Pro, which is, how much do I have to wait on that in the shape? And I'll throw it up on screen. But it's like, I think 10 grams or so lighter than the Viper V3 Pro. So for a lot of people, this may be a more compelling option if you want this kind of shape. So back onto the shape. Every single time I pick up this mouse, no matter how long I've spent with it, when I pick it up, the first thing that comes to mind is, I hate this shape. This is terrible. This just feels wrong. And that's not my actual thought on the shape. It's so weird having this flare out at only the back. It's just not something I'm used to. So my muscle reaction is, ooh, I don't like this. And yeah, I fingertip most of my mice. I'm a fingertip person. I can't really claw for some reason. Just doesn't well with me. I can palm, but yeah, clawing just doesn't work well. And so yeah, even it's light enough. I can fingertip it, and I really don't have any issue. It's not what I would choose if I'm fingertipping, but I can do that no problem, just due to how light it is. And when I palm it, it just works. It just fills out the hand really nicely, and you just get that nice little support there on the back to just hold on to, and it makes it feel bigger than the mouse actually is. So I think that's a really nice and well designed feature that they're able to work in there. It's a little bit unique. I think some people might really enjoy that. And so yeah, what else? The coating is pretty good. It's I am a very sweaty my hands are very sweaty, and I live in a really humid area, so my hands get really worked up. I throw grip tape on everything, but I didn't really feel like I had to throw grip tape on this. It's not as great as something like the Viper V3 Pro, but it's just chalky enough where it takes about an hour or so for my hands to really start getting sweaty. Even when they do, if I wipe it off, it still feels much more solid than a lot of other mice. So for me, grip tape wasn't a necessity. It comes with grip tape in the box. I wouldn't bother with it unless your hands are even more disgusting than mine, which is rare because mine are on the pretty extreme at the end of the spectrum. So good job with the coating there. And yeah, the clicks, initially, I mean, these are their custom optical switches. It's not an off the box solution or whatever. And when I first got them, they were a bit stiff and mushy. They still don't feel perfect, but they had a little bit of a break-in period, and now they feel notably less stiff. Still a little bit mushy because they're an optical. I don't love them, but they're perfectly serviceable for me. I'm not going to be complaining about those. They're still light enough and tactile enough where a little bit of mushiness, they're still a little bit tense, but it's not something that is really a game breaker for me. However, the side clicks feel fine, but they sound hollow. Ooh, especially the bottom one, it just feels hollow in a way that I don't like. They don't feel bad, but it's just a really weird hollow sound, which isn't terrible, but it is what it is. And the scroll wheel is weird. It's lightly defined scrolls, which I like. That's my preferred flavor. But this is just a plastic scroll wheel, and so even though the rest of the mouse I don't need coating for, my finger just starts slipping on this instantly, and it just grazes over and doesn't really make right contact. And it's also a little bit too recessed in the chassis. I'm not sure how well you can see. Probably not that great, but yeah, the mouse wheel doesn't really stick up that much compared to other mice. I'm not sure how well this is going to come across on camera, but yeah, that scroll wheel, it is probably didn't show up well at all. But yeah, the scroll is just a little bit too recessed in there, so sometimes if my finger goes a little bit too far upwards, it just, you know, brushes up against the top of the clicks, and I don't love that. It's not the biggest deal, but that's how the scroll wheel is. And the DPI button is here on the side, which is, it's an odd choice. I don't think I've ever seen a DPI button placed like this, but it's also non-offensive. You're never going to accidentally press this. You have to go out of your way. I don't know why there's so much room up here for the DPI button. If they wanted to, they could have thrown in the bottom. I don't know why they settle on this solution, but it is what it is. And so yeah, that's the basic rundown on this mouse. It is, I think the biggest downside of this mouse is honestly it being 1K only. It's a 3395 great sensor, but at $100, I know a lot of people are gonna go, ooh, $100, and it's not 4K or even 2K. They're just not gonna consider this mouse. And if you're one of those people who cares about the tech that much, that's fine, your prerogative. But if you're someone who's more shape oriented and coding oriented and just a really nice palm and claw grip mouse that's a little bit smaller and lighter than the Viper 3 V3 Pro, then this is a really good option for you. And it's great, honestly, to have it from a big brand like this, right? You can walk into a Best Buy and get this. You can't say that about most mice. They're not the biggest player, but that availability, that really matters to some people, and I think it's really cool. I want to see Turtle Beach improve on this. I want to see them add 4K to the lineup at some point. That is just a necessity at this point for a lot of people. I want to see them go even lighter. They can make this even lighter. Like, there's the weight they can shave there. I'm a big fan of honeycombs personally. I know a lot of people aren't. It's polarizing, but I love honeycombs. I love the way they feel, and shaving off that extra weight, it's a win-win for me. And yeah, I think this isn't the best mouse, but it's a viable mouse on the market to buy, and I think that's honestly all this really needed to be. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. So, rock over London, rock on Chicago. I'm out.